Hello students, welcome to Chanakya Academy's online lecture series. This is class 9th English medium. In class 9th we have two books, one Beehive and second name is Moments. In Moments there are 10 chapters during the year that we have to learn, and in Beehive also we have 11 chapters. Here contents are here. Chapter number 1 to total chapters, 11 chapters are there, and also poems are there. Okay, today from first chapter we are starting. Chapter number 1, The Fun They Had, written by Isaac Asimov. Yes. The Fun They Had. Before we start, here some information is given. The story we shall read is set in the future, when books and schools as we now know them will perhaps not exist. How will children study there? The diagram below may give you some ideas. Okay, it is about future when we will not have any paper book, and we will study like virtual classroom, like today we are learning that. Okay, distance learning. The diagram below which shows some future books and future जो facilities है उसके बारे में. One, learning through computers, virtual classroom, robotic teacher and moving e-text. मीन्स जो बुक अभी है हमारे पास पेपर वैसी नहीं, e-text book, e-book that we will have in future. In page discuss 3 things that you like best about your school and 3 things about your school that you would like to change. Write down. Okay. One more questions is here. Have you ever read words on a television or computer screen? Can you imagine a time when all books will be on computers and there will be no books printed on paper? Would you like such books better? Okay, just write some words about it, that if we have not any paper book in our hand, that how we will study. Okay, so try to write about this, minimum 10 lines. Dear students, now we are starting our chapter. First I will read some paragraph, then I will explain you. Margie even wrote about it that night in her diary. On the page he did 17th May 2157. She wrote, "Today Tommy found a real book. It was a very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. They turned the pages, which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen. You know, and then when they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it that it had when they read it at the first time." Okay, here meanings are given. Crinky, with many folds or lines. Okay, so in a first paragraph it is about future, and it is about the paper book that Margie's grandfather had. Okay, in the starting Margie even wrote about that in the night in her diary. Margie was writing her diary at every night on the page he did, और उस टाइम पे जो पेज पे जो हेडिंग था, it is about 17th May 2157. Now it is year 2010. Now after how many years? You can imagine the 17th May 2157 a year. Then she wrote, "Today Tommy found a real book." And the title of the diary is that today Tommy found a real book. One character Margie and second is a Tommy. एंड टाइटल लिखा था कि टॉमी फाउंड अ रियल बुक. नाउ टॉमी ने फाइंड किया था एक रियल बुक जो बुक एक्चुअल में बुक है, बिकॉज दे हैव नॉट पेपर बुक, दे नेवर सीन इट. It was a very old book and it is very old. Okay, why? Because it is Margie's grandfather, and grandfather said once that what he said, that when he was a little boy, his grandfather, when his grandfather was a little boy, that he told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. क्या था उस टाइम पे जब all the stories and all the learning materials were printed on papers, not on computer and screen. So they turned the pages which were yellow and crinky. Okay, now they find something new and they turned pages one by one, and which were yellow. How it is? It is yellow color because it's very old, so it turned into yellow color. And crinky means it is given here meaning with many folds and lines, and it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on screen. Now what is it? And it was awfully funny, and this is funny thing for them because ये जो पढ़ते थे वो ऑनलाइन ई बुक है उनके पास थी, बट दिस इज फर्स्ट टाइम टू रीड वर्ड्स इन स्टूड स्टिल. मीन्स जो वर्ड्स है वो इन ऐसे ही है जो मूव नहीं कर रहे हैं, इंस्टेड ऑफ मूविंग द वे. ओके, वो चेंज नहीं होती, स्क्रीन चेंज नहीं होती, ऐसे ही स्टिल है. दे वर सपोज टू ऑन स्क्रीन, और स्क्रीन पे क्या होता था, आप मूव कर सकते थे, वर्ड्स मूव होते थे, बट दिस इज नॉट डन हियर. यू नो, हिज ग्रैंडफादर सेड. And then when they turned back on the page before, it had the same words on it that it had when they read it the first time. And then they turned the page back to the page before, और जब पेज चेंज कर रहे थे, टर्न कर रहे थे, it had the same word लिखे हुए थे that it had why they read the first time. ऐसे वर्ड जो वो फर्स्ट टाइम पढ़ रहे हैं उनके लिए जो फर्स्ट टाइम था. Now, second paragraph. Guy, said Tommy, "What a waste. When you are through with the book, you just throw it away. I guess our television screen must have had a million books on it, and it's a good for plenty more. I wouldn't throw it away." "Same with mine," said Margie. She was 11 and hadn't seen as many telebooks as Tommy had. He was 13. She said, "Where did you find it?" "In my house." He pointed without looking because he was busy reading in the attic. What's it about school? Now, in the second paragraph, Tommy and Margie are talking about a book where he find students. Guy said, Tommy said, "Guy, what a waste." वो discuss, Guy indicates the discuss, जो किसी को पसंद नहीं हो ऐसा word means Guy. And what a waste. This is waste of time. Why we are doing this? When you are through with the book, you are just throw it away. Tommy said, "This is waste of time. Why we are reading this?" When you are through with the books, हमारे पास बहुत सारे बुक है जो टेलीविज़न में हम देख रहे थे, तो ये उसे फेंक दो. I guess our television scene must have had a million books. और हमारी स्क्रीन पे हम जो पढ़ते हैं डेली, there are many millions of books are there, so this is waste of time and it's a good for plenty more. और इससे भी ज़्यादा है तो it is waste of time. I wouldn't throw it away, but he said कि मुझे फेंकना नहीं है अभी. क्यों? "Same with mine," said Margie. Margie said, "Okay, it is also same with me." she was 11. Why? Margie age is 11 years old. She is and hadn't seen many tally books as Tommy had. Or Tommy, जो how many years he was? He was 13 years old. उसने भी tally books means जो ई बुक्स है बहुत सारी देख ली थी. फेवर बुक फर्स्ट टाइम देख रहे थे दोनों. She said, "Where did you find?" Then Margie asked Tommy, where he find it? क्या तूने ये कहाँ से मिला तुझे ये बुक? तो he said, "In my house." He pointed without looking because he was busy reading. वो बुक पढ़ता रहता था और इंडिकेट किए बिना. In the attic. What is the meaning of attic? A space just below the roof used as a storeroom. Storeroom में से मिला था. What is it about school? And Margie also asked, "What is it about this book?" And he answered that it is about school. Now, third, Margie was scornful. School? What is there to write about school? I hate school. Margie always hated school, but now she hated it more than ever. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the country inspector. Now, Margie was scornful. Scornful means contemptuous and showing your thing something worthless. जो पसंद नहीं है वो ऐसा. So, scornful. School? Because she hates school. What is there to write about school? इस स्कूल के बारे में लिखने की ज़रूरत क्या थी? I hate school more than anything. Margie always hated school. Why? But now she hated it more than ever. वो स्कूल तो हेट करती थी स्कूल जाने के लिए, बट अब जब से ये उनके पास जो न्यू टीचर जो मैकेनिकल टीचर है तब से तो वो ज़्यादा हेट करने लगी थी. नाउ द मैकेनिकल टीचर हैड बीन गिविंग द टेस्ट आफ्टर टेस्ट. जो टीचर था वो एक के बाद नए टेस्ट देते जा रहा था इन जियोग्राफी सब्जेक्ट, एंड शी हैड बीन डूइंग वर्स and she is not doing good and she is not securing good marks, worse and worse until her mother then her mother had shake her forehead sorrow. जब तक उसकी मदर ने उसका हेड सरो मीन्स बहुत पेनफुली उसको हेड शेक नहीं किया तब तक वो वर्स कर दे. सेंड फॉर द कंट्री इंस्पेक्टर. एंड उसको कहाँ भेज दी दिया? तो कंट्री इंस्पेक्टर जो इंस्पेक्टर आता था उनके पास. He was a round little man with a red face and a whole box of tools with dials and wires. He smiled at Margie and gave her an apple, then took the teacher apart. Margie had hoped he wouldn't know how to put it together again, but he knew how all right, and after an hour or so, there it was again, large and black and ugly, with a big screen on which all the lessons were shown and the questions were asked. That it wasn't so bad, the part Margie hated. In the fourth paragraph, he was a round little man. जो इंस्पेक्टर था कैसा था? He was a round little man with red face and a whole box of tools with dials and wires. जो इंस्पेक्टर था उसके पास जो भेजा था जो मैकेनिकल टीचर था, जब तक उनकी मम्मी ने उसको शेक किया था तब इसके लिए वो इंस्पेक्टर के पास भेजा था. तो हाउ ही वॉज a round little man, round faced and red face and a whole box of tools and dials and wires से भरा हुआ. He smiled at Margie and gave her an apple. When they met, inspector smiled towards Margie and gave her an apple. Then he took the टीचर अपार्ट और उस जो टीचर था मैकेनिकल टीचर उसे ले लिया. मार्गी हैड होप्ड ही वुड नो हाउ टू पुट इट टुगेदर अगेन. और जो मैकेनिकल टीचर को उन्होंने बिगाड़ दिया था मार्गी ने, तो मार्गी हैड होप उसको लग रहा था कि दैट ही वुडंट नो हाउ टू पुट इट टुगेदर. और इसको जो अलग किया कर दिया था उसने वो कैसे ज्वाइन कर सकते वो जानता हो. बट ही न्यू हाउ ऑल राइट. And after an hour so, there was again, large and black and ugly, with a big screen on which all the lessons were shown and the questions were asked. And after an hour, there was the problems were sorted out एंड देयर वाज अगेन एन लार्ज ब्लैक एंड अगली, जो मार्गी को पसंद नहीं था स्क्रीन, जो मैकेनिकल टीचर उनके पास था, जो कंप्यूटर बेस्ड जो रोबोट था, उसमें सब जो लेसन्स वर शोन एंड द क्वेश्चंस वर आस्क्ड वो कंटिन्यूसली कंटिन्यू हो गया था. That wasn't so bad. It is very bad for Margie because she hated all the things. The part Margie hated most was the slot where she had to put homework. Okay, और जो टाइम पे उसे होमवर्क सेंड करना था, इट इज़ वेरी वर्स्ट पॉइंट फॉर हर. द टेस्ट पेपर, शी हेटेड एग्जाम्स. शी always had to write them out in punch code they made her learn when she was 6 years old, and the mechanical teacher calculated the marks into no time. And the one more thing is that the slot, जो टाइम पीरियड दिया गया था उसमें slot where she had to put homework, उसका होमवर्क उसे देना था, and the test paper जो टाइम पे, and she always had to write them out in the punch code, और उसके कोड में उसे पंच करना था. then he made her learn when she was 6 years old, जो 6 years old थी तब से ये कंटिन्यू उसकी ये चल रहा था टीचिंग. द मैकेनिकल टीचर कैलकुलेटेड द मार्क्स इन नो टाइम, और क्विक आंसर दे देता था कि मार्की को कितने मार्क्स मिले वो टीचर. 5th पैराग्राफ. The inspector had smiled after he was finished and patted Margie's head. He said to her mother, "It's not the little girl's fault, Mrs. Jones. I think the geography sector was geared a little too weak, too quick. Those things happen sometimes. I have slowed it up to an average 10-year level. Actually, the overall pattern of her progress is quite satisfactory." And he patted Margie's head again. Margie was disappointed. She had been hoping they would take the teacher away altogether. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a month because the history sector had blanked out completely. So she said to Tommy, "Why would anyone write about school?" In the 5th paragraph, the inspector had smiled after he was finished. When he was finished all the problems, he smiled and patted Margie's head, और मार्गी को शाबाशी दी. Why? Because he said to her mother, मार्गी की मदर वो उसने बोला था that it is not little girl's fault. वो जो रिजल्ट खराब आ रहा था, वर्स एंड वर्स जा रहा था, there is a no mistake, there is a no fault of girls, means मार्गी का ये कोई फॉल्ट नहीं था. मिसेस जॉन्स नेम ऑफ मदर ऑफ मार्गी, तो उसका कोई फॉल्ट नहीं है. आई थिंक द जियोग्राफी सेक्टर वॉज गियर्ड अ लिटल टू क्विक. जो मैकेनिकल टीचर, जो कंप्यूटर टीचर है, उसमें जो जियोग्राफी सेक्टर है पोर्शन, इट वॉज गियर्ड. गियर्ड, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ गियर्ड? तो गियर्ड तो मीनिंग है एडजस्टेड टू पर्टिकुलर स्टैंडर्ड. जो लाइक 10th के लिए जो स्टैंडर्ड के लिए जो 10th लेवल का होना चाहिए, 7th के लिए 7th का, दैट. तो जो जियोग्राफी सेक्टर वो थोड़ा सा आगे है उसके पोर्शन लेवल से ज़्यादा, तो दैट इज वाई मार्गी डिडंट डू गुड. Those things happen sometimes. I have slowed it up to an average 10-year level. Now, what he did that those things happen sometimes जो ही हो रही थी उसके लिए उन्होंने क्या कर दिया था? He had slowed it up. उसकी जो प्रोसेस है, जो जियोग्राफी सेक्टर जो क्विक जा रहा था उसको स्लो कर दिया, एंड एवरी 10-year लेवल के लिए बच्चों के लिए हो उसके जितना कर दिया था. Actually, the overall pattern of her progress is quite certain. And he also said that actually the overall pattern, overall result and progress of Margie is quite satisfactory. She was doing very good. And he patted once again Margie's head again. Margie was disappointed at that time. Why? Because she got bad result, and she had been hoping they would take the teacher away together. Now, what she was hoping, she had been hoping that they would take the teacher away. अब उस टीचर जो मैकेनिकल टीचर है उसे कहीं और ले जाए, because it is faulty. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a month because the history sector had blanked out completely. Because why she had been hoping? Because once Tommy's teacher, जब टॉमी के टीचर को ऐसा कुछ हुआ था, जो बिफोर जो हिस्ट्री सेक्टर ब्लैंक हो चुका था, इसलिए नियरली मंथ के लिए वो वहाँ से उनको लेके गए थे रिपेयरिंग के लिए. तो वो भी होप कर रही थी कि मेरे टीचर को 1 मंथ के लिए वो वहाँ से ले जाए. शी सेड टू टॉमी, वाई वुड एनी वन राइट अबाउट स्कूल. और ये चल रहा था तब जो बुक मिली थी उसमें स्कूल के बारे में, तो उनको स्कूल का कंसेप्ट तो पता ही नहीं था. तो सो शी आस्क्ड टॉमी, वाई वुड अबाउट राइट एनी वन अबाउट राइट स्कूल. Tommy looked at her with very superior eyes. Because it is not our kind of school. Stupid, this is the old kind of school that they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago. He added loftily, pronouncing the word carefully. Countries ago, Margie was hurt. Well, I don't know what kind of school they had all that time ago. She read the book over his shoulder for a while, then said, anyway, they had a teacher. Now, in the 6th paragraph, they are talking about school, which is written in book. The Tommy looked at her with very superior eyes, or because she asked, why would anyone write about school? Then उसको लगे कि स्कूल के बारे में उसे पता ही नहीं था, इसलिए वो क्यूरियसली उस तरफ देख रहा है. बिकॉज इट इज़ नॉट अवर काइंड ऑफ स्कूल. जो हमारे जैसे भी स्कूल है, जो टीचर घर पे ही हम पढ़ते हैं, वैसे स्कूल नहीं है. स्टूपिड, दिस इज द ओल्ड काइंड ऑफ स्कूल. दिस इज ओल्ड पैटर्न स्कूल, जो पहले थी वैसे जो स्कूल में पढ़ते, लाइक अभी आप पढ़ रहे हो वैसे. दैट दे हैड hundreds and hundreds of year ago those school. It is about that. He added loftily. Loftily means in a superior way, जो हाई टोन में उसे बढ़ा चढ़ा के बात कर रहा था. एंड प्रोनाउंसिंग वर्ड केयरफुली, सेंचुरीज एगो, वेरी वेरी वेरी, जो ओल्ड टाइम पे बहुत सालों के पहले, जो सेंचुरीज एगो जो हो जैसी स्कूल थी उसके बारे में बात करें. मार्गी वॉज हर्ट. वेल, आई डोंट नो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ स्कूल दे हैड ऑल दैट टाइम एगो. मार्गी को पता ही नहीं था, तो मार्गी वॉज हर्ट, उसे दुख हुआ कि ये क्या बोल रहा है. Well, I don't know about that. What kind of school they had all that time. She's read the book over his shoulder of while, और उसने बुक पढ़ी. Then said, anyway, they had a teacher. और फिर इसे पढ़ के बोली, oh anyway, they had teacher. उनके पास भी टीचर थे. उसे टीचर वर्ड से ही नफरत थी. Sure, they had a teacher, but it wasn't a regular teacher. It was a man. A man? How could a man be a teacher? Well, he just told the boys and girls things and gave them homework and asked them questions. Now, उसे वो क्वेश्चन हुआ कि ये टीचर, उनके पास भी टीचर था. Sure, they had a teacher. तो टॉमी ने बोला, yes, they had a teacher, but it wasn't regular teacher. It was a man. वो टीचर कौन था? मैन. हमारे जैसे कोई मैकेनिकल, कोई कंप्यूटर टीचर नहीं था. Then Margie asked, a man? हाउ कुड अ मैन बी ए टीचर. कोई मैन टीचर कैसे बन सकता है, हमारे पास तो है ही नहीं. वेल, ही जस्ट टोल्ड द बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स थिंग्स. नाउ हाउ टाइप ऑफ टीचर दे हैड द टीचर लाइक दे टोल्ड बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स, उनको एक्सप्लेन करते थे थिंग्स एंड गेव देम होमवर्क एंड आस्क्ड देम क्वेश्चन. ओके, जो नॉर्मल टीचर हैं हमारे जैसे, जो मैन हैं वैसे टीचर थे, और होमवर्क वो देते थे और क्वेश्चन पूछते थे. मैन इजंट स्मार्ट इनफ. इन द 7th paragraph, man isn't smart enough. Sure, he is. My father knows as much as my teacher. He knows almost as much, I bet. Margie wasn't prepared to dispute that. She said, I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me. Tommy screamed with laughter. You don't know much, Margie. The teachers didn't live in the house. They had a special building and all the kids were there. And all the kids learned the same thing. Sure, if they were the same age. Now, in the 7th paragraph, okay, a man isn't smart enough. And she is very curious about it and asks, a man isn't smart enough. Man इतना smart नहीं होता जितना वो पढ़ा सके. Sure he is. And Tommy answered that sure he is. वो होता था. My father knows as much as my teacher. मेरे फादर जानते हैं कि टीचर कितने स्मार्ट होते हैं. He knows almost as much, I bet. Bet means informal. Also, he knows very much about the teacher. Margie wasn't prepared to dispute that. She said, I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me. और मार्गी उससे ज़्यादा डिस्प्यूट करना प्रिपेयर नहीं थी. और वो शी आस्क्ड दैट आई वुडंट वांट अ स्ट्रेंज मैन. मैं मेरे घर में जो इसी पर्सन जो नहीं जानती उसे घर में अलाउड नहीं करती टू टीच मी. वो घर आके मुझे पढ़ाए. टॉमी स्क्रीम्ड विथ लाफ्टर. और टॉमी हंसने लगा जोर जोर से. You don't know much, Margie. Margie, you don't know much about this school pattern which is old. The teachers didn't live in the house. Teacher घर पे आके नहीं पढ़ाते थे, घर पे नहीं रहते. They had a special building and all the kids were there. वो स्पेशल बिल्डिंग होती है, वहाँ रहते थे. Means this is a type of school. And all the kind kids learn at the same. And all the kids, जितने भी kids होते वो same thing पढ़ते थे. Sure, if they were the same age. And she said, yes, sure, पढ़ते होगे. If they were the same age के होगे तो वो same पढ़ेंगे ना. But my mother says a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl. It teaches and that each kid has to be taught differently. Just the same, they don't do it that with him. If you don't like it, you don't have to read the book. I didn't say I didn't like it. Margie said quickly. She wanted to read about those funny schools. They weren't even half finished when Margie's mother called. Margie, school. Margie looked up. Not yet, Mama. Now, said Mrs. Jones, and it is probably time for Tommy too. Margie said to Tommy, can I read the book some more with you after school? Now, but my mother, in the 8th paragraph, but my mother says the teacher has to be adjusted and fit that mind. Each boy and girl teaches that each kind kid has to be taught enough differently. Margie said that कि जो मेरी मदर क्या बोलती है कि टीचर को एडजस्ट होना पड़ता है कि जैसे बच्चे का माइंड कितना है तो वैसे वो एडजस्ट होगा. एंड टीच उसे वही पढ़ाना है दैट ईच किड हैज द टॉट डिफरेंटली. जो जिस बच्चे को जो लेवल है उस हिसाब से पढ़ाना होता है. जस्ट द सेम दे डिडंट डू इट द वे देन. तो वो पहले स्कूल के जो पैटर्न है वो वैसा नहीं करते थे, वो कॉमन पढ़ाते थे. इफ़ यू डोंट लाइक इट यू डोंट हैव टू रीड द बुक. ओके, आई डोंट से आई डोंट लाइक इट. जो बुक में पढ़ता था तो टॉमी सेड कि अगर तुझे ये बुक पसंद नहीं है तो ये पढ़ना छोड़ दे. आई डिडंट से आई डिडंट लाइक इट. मार्गी सेड क्विकली. मार्गी बोली नहीं मुझे पसंद नहीं है, वैसा नहीं है. शी वॉन्टेड टू रीड अबाउट दोज फनी स्कूल्स. मार्गी वॉन्टेड टू रीड दिस फनी स्कूल बिकॉज उसे पता ही नहीं था इसके बारे में. दे वरंट इवन हाफ फिनिश्ड व्हेन मार्गीज मदर कॉल्ड मार्गी स्कूल. अभी तक वो पढ़ रहे थे, अरे हाफ फिनिश नहीं किया. उसकी मम्मी ने बोला मार्गी स्कूल, दिस इज टाइम फॉर लर्निंग. मार्गी लुक्ड अप. नॉट येट मम्मा, अभी नहीं, थोड़ी देर बाद आ रहे. नाउ सेड मिसेस जॉन्स, एंड इट इज प्रोबेबली टाइम फॉर टॉमी टू. एंड मिसेस जॉन्स said, नाउ क्विक, be quick, and it is also probably school time for Tommy also, so you have to go. Margie said to Tommy, can I read books some more with you after school? And Margie को उसे इंटरेस्ट था. Then she asked, can I read more about this book after school? Tommy said, maybe, yes, you definitely. He said melancholy, nonchalantly. He walked away, whistling, the dusty old book tucked beneath his arm. और वो बुक लेके वहाँ से विसल बजाते हुए निकल गए. मार्गी वेंट इनटू स्कूल रूम. इट वॉज राइट नेक्स्ट टू अवर बेडरूम. स्कूल रूम में चली गई जो उसके बेडरूम के बाजू में था, घर पे ही पढ़ते थे. एंड द मैकेनिकल टीचर वॉज ऑन एंड वेटिंग फॉर हर. और मैकेनिकल टीचर ऑन था और वो वेट कर रहा था मार्गी के लिए. इट वॉज ऑलवेज ऑन एट द सेम टाइम एवरी डे एक्सेप्ट सैटरडे एंड संडे. And the school time was every day except only Saturday, Sunday was off for schooling. Here is a picture how Margie's classroom. She had computer screen, she had computer, she had television and audiovisual things and robot also. Okay, it's a future generation school. because her mother said little girls learn it better if they learn it at regular hours. Margie's mother believed that if this little girls learned it better, जो अच्छी तरह से पढ़ सकती है, when they learn it at the regular, अगर अपने regular hours में पढ़ेंगे तभी वो better study कर सकते हैं. The screen was light up and it said today's arithmetic lesson is on the addition of proper fractions. Please insert yesterday's homework in the proper slot. Now screen was light up, screen चल रही थी and it is said, वो message आ रहा था today's arithmetic lesson, and today's lesson is, it is about arithmetic on the addition of proper fraction and fraction के बारे में. Please insert yesterday's homework. Yesterday जो homework दिया था, please insert in the proper slot में आप enter करो and then continue करेंगे next day के. Marky did so with a sigh. She was thinking about the old school they had when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. All the kids from the whole neighborhood came, laughing and shouting in the schoolyard, sitting together in the schoolroom, going home together at the end of the day. They learned the same things, so they could help one another with the homework and talked about it. And the teachers were people. The mechanical teacher was flashing on the screen. We had fraction 1 upon 2 and 1 upon 4 dash dash. Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. She was thinking about the fun they had. Okay, at that time Margie did so with a sigh. कि मार्गी ने निसास आ दिया और ग्रीफ थोड़ा सा हो. शी वॉज थिंकिंग एंड वो कंटिन्यू सोच रही थी अबाउट द ओल्ड स्कूल्स, हाउ दे हैड व्हेन द ग्रैंडफादर जो लिटिल बॉय थे तब कैसे स्कूल होगी. ऑल द किड्स फ्रॉम द होल नेबरहुड एक दूसरे के साथ में जाते होंगे, लाफिंग शाउटिंग इन द स्कूल यार्ड में जाते होंगे, एक साथ बैठते होंगे, सिटिंग टुगेदर इन द स्कूल रूम, हाउ दे फील. शी वॉज इमेजिनिंग गोइंग होम टुगेदर एट द एंड ऑफ द डे. जब डे ख़त्म होता है तो वो घर पे जाते थे. दे लर्नड द सेम थिंग्स, और एक ही चीज़ पढ़ते थे हमारे जैसे अलग अलग. सो दे कुड हेल्प वन अनदर, सो दे कुड हेल्प वन अनदर इन देयर होमवर्क एंड टॉक्ड अबाउट इट. एंड नाउ व्हाट इट इज़ गोइंग ऑन, द टीचर्स वर पीपल. पहले क्या था, टीचर्स वर पीपल. द मैकेनिकल टीचर वॉज फ्लैशिंग, और जो हमारे पास टीचर है वो ऑलवेज कंटिन्यू फ्लैश करता रहा और पढ़ाता रहता. when we had fraction, जो मैथ अरिथमेटिक पढ़ा रहा था वो कंटिन्यू कर रहा था. Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved the old days, and she was thinking that in the old days how the kids loved their school and their days. She was thinking about their fun, and she was also thinking that they fun. Okay, so dear students, this is why the topic of the chapter and name is the fun they had. उसे लगता है कि वो पहले के स्कूलिंग में बच्चे कितना फन करते होंगे उसके बारे में. So this is a really good chapter. This is really very good. And now activity and the question answer are here. So you have to write it in your homework and also in test. I will provide you which you have to write. And the whole exercise you should write in your English notebook. Start from today. Answer the question in the few words or couple of sentences each. There are 7 questions answered there. The next, answer the following with reference to the story. और ये है जो स्कूल जो स्टोरी है ऊपर दी गई उसमें से रेफरेंस. I would throw it away. Who says these words? Okay. Next, also answer each these question in short paragraph. This long question and answer. Also more question and answer here. Answer each these question in 2 or 3 paragraphs. Long answer. You suppose not to write this question and answer. Language adverbs, जो हम लैंग्वेज हैं वो ग्रामर लेक्चर्स में पढ़ेंगे कि what is adverb, and you have to fill in the blanks at that time. Okay. If, not, and unless, this is also grammar point. And how to write later, this is also given pattern. So I am going to explain this, how to write a later in a proper format. So in a exam you can write this, just format is given here. So keep this thing in your mind how to write. First of all, here in the left side you have to write your address and your name also. जो लिखने वाला है लेटर, जो those who are writing a letter, उसका एड्रेस आएगा यहाँ पे विथ डेट आप जनरली जो भी फॉर्मेट में लिखो, बट यू हैव टू प्रीफर दिस डेट फॉर्मेट. देन लीव वन लाइन एंड आफ्टर दिस यू हैव टू राइट जो रिसीवर है एड्रेस, उसका एड्रेस आना चाहिए. एंड देन जिसे लिख रहे हो उसको सैल्यूटेशन, डियर सर, मैडम, वॉट एवर यू वॉन्ट राइट here, then comma also, and the main body of the letter you have to write, and in the end your sincerely and name or signature. Okay, this is also easy. Remember that the language of formal letter is different from the colloquial style of personal letter. Personal letter से formal letter थोड़ा सा different है. Formal letter क्या है कि जो किसी कंपनी को लिख रहे हैं, किसी को कंप्लेन कर रहे हैं, किसी को इसके बारे में बता रहे हैं, तो दीज थिंग्स आर ओके. 4 थिंग्स: एड्रेसेस ऑफ द सेंडर, सेकेंड रिसीवर का एड्रेस, देन द सैल्यूटेशन, बॉडी ऑफ द लेटर, एंड क्लोजिंग फ्रेजेस एंड सिग्नेचर. कीप दिस थिंग इन योर माइंड. Okay, so dear students, I hope you understand all the things in this chapter. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, I am here to help you. Thank you for watching.